All right, and welcome to everyone out there. This is Amateur Radio Roundtable. It's a show about ham radio and shortwave. And would like to just say hello and thank you to everybody that's tuned in tonight, and especially those that are tuned in on international shortwave station, WBCQ on 7490. We're glad to have you. And if you are listening out there, we'd love to hear from you. So please send us an email and let us know where you are, in what country, and how you're hearing the station tonight. You can send that email to Tom at w5kub.com, Tom at w5kub.com, and I would love to hear from you. Also, if you will, tonight, hey, hit that subscribe button. Let's see how our viewers are doing here. Hit that subscribe button. We'd like to hear from you as far as, subscribing. We got a lot of people that watch the show that don't subscribe, but please subscribe. It helps YouTube to get the message out about our show to other people that don't know about it. So that's a good way to bring in more people into the hobby. Join our Facebook group. Our Facebook group is called W5KUB, and we'd love to have you join that Facebook group. And remember, we're on nearly every podcast carrier out there. If you just want to listen to the show or while you're driving or at work, we're on iTunes, iNet Radio, you name it, we're on it, and Google Play. Everybody's picking us up. And again, if you're out there on shortwave listening, it's Thursday for you, because our show is retransmitted on Thursdays from 5 to 7 p.m. On WBCQ out there. So I think that's the announcement. So we're under an ice storm right now. If any of you guys have been watching this ice storm that's coming in from Texas through Arkansas and Tennessee, we're kind of in it right now. We had sleet and snow earlier. It kind of slacked off, but I'm looking out here on the trees, and all the tree limbs have ice on them, and we're getting very slight rain, and the temperature is just below freezing. So I think that rain is actually still sticking to the trees. They're probably going to build up over time. So the area I'm in is known for losing power frequently. And that's the reason we put our home generator in. So we may switch over to generators tonight. If we do lose power, it takes about 30 seconds for the generator to come up. But all of our computers throughout the house, the internet connection, all that stuff is running on a big UPS system with about 400 pounds of batteries. They would actually run for about 6 or 8 hours. So that'll keep us up until the generator starts. You might see the lights go off in here. I don't think the lights are plugged into our. I'm pretty sure our lights are not on our UPS circuit here. Anyway, that's kind of where we are there. Hey, I saw somebody talking to Katie in the chat room? Maybe.
No, she's not in the chat room.
Oh, okay.
They were just saying it.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, hey, over to you, Glenn, and how are you doing tonight, man? Yeah, and what kind of weather do you get down there?
About the same as you do.
Okay.
My trees are pretty much the same. What you didn't mention that I saw in the weather tonight is that we're supposed to get a third round of this starting tomorrow.
Didn't know that.
And so they've extended the warning until Thursday at 6 a.m. So they're still predicting that we're just going to get sleet at this point, maybe a mix. I don't think we're going to get any more of the freezing rain. So I think most of that has passed north of me. And so I don't think it's going to get that bad. But yeah, the trees are coated with ice and stuff right now. And they're talking maybe a little bit of snow as well.
Well, and I have 1 or 2 more 100-foot trees that could hit the house if they fall over. Most of them that hit the house have already fallen, and I've had them removed. So, the chances are the house getting hit are becoming less and less all the time here, man. But that ice does put a load on them out there. And you know, it doesn't take much of a limb to fall across a power line out here and just bring it down.
Yeah. Well, you know, I hate to say it, but looking at you, it looked like you've already gone toe to toe with those trees, and looks like you might have lost.
Well, no, you know, I didn't think you'd notice it, to tell you the truth.
Oh yeah.
I thought everybody got the memo to wear red tonight. I'll tell you what happened. You're not going to believe this, but Glenn, are you familiar with Russellville area over in Arkansas? They've got a nuclear power plant over here. It was there when I went to college 50 years ago. And of course, it's been going for 50 years. But anyway, it's called Nuclear One. It's over in Arkansas, and I was over there last week taking a little tour in there in Nuclear One, and we were walking around, and all of a sudden, man, I felt I needed a pee. So there was only this one guy taking us around, and I said, "Sir," I said, "Come here a second." I said, "I need to pee. Can I take a quick break?" He said, "No, we can't. I'm sorry. I'm the only guy here. This is a restricted area, basically. I can't let anybody go. You're just going to have to hold it." And I said, "Sir," I said, "Man, I've been holding it now for an hour. I cannot hold it any longer." I said, "You know, it's going to be bad here." He said, "Okay." He said, "Normally I wouldn't do this, but," he said, "Okay." He said, "This is a big facility." He said, "There's a lot of bad, dangerous stuff in here. Just be careful." He said, "Walk all the way down, follow this yellow line, all the way down to the end of the building there, and then turn right. And then it's probably another 50 yards on down. You'll see a restroom down there." So anyway, so I said, "Okay, thank you, sir." So, you know, I'm kind of making it fast down to the end of the building there, hoping I was going to make it. And then I saw this area. They were doing something right below, and it had water in it, and they were lifting stuff in and out. And I thought, what in the world is this? So I stopped, and I kind of stepped through a door there in the area, and I watched that for about 5 minutes, you know.
Yeah, and they were all in these white suits too, weren't they?
Yeah, I watched that for, I don't know, it might have been 5. I don't think, they said I was there a long time, but I don't think I was there that long. Anyway, I got removed from Arkansas Nuclear One. So, this started developing sometime after that.
And now you're glowing in the dark?
Yeah.
I kind of figured, yeah.
So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
There you go.
Okay. Well, let me see what the chat room's saying here. I'll give you guys a better answer in a minute. Let me see.
Oh, they say you never lie.
Yeah, I saw that. Let's see. Well, let's see. There are not many comments. Maybe people that wasn't even listening. I don't know if they listen.
Mark P doesn't believe it.
I don't know if they listen to our show or not. You know, I think they just log in.
They're just here to look at the pictures.
Yeah. Let's see. Second most wanted. Second. Okay. Okay. So here's what happened, guys. Here's what happened. And I don't want to make this all about me, and I don't think it's anything serious. But I went to the dermatologist here. I went to a local one here, not my regular, but I went to a local one here. I don't know, 6 months ago, and it was a lady, a new lady, very young. I guess she started her own business. I didn't really like her. She talked kind of rough, you know, and she. You know, you go to the skin doctor and they find a little spot and they'll burn it off, you know. And so I had a little spot right here on my cheek, and she took the spray can of Freon or whatever it was, nitrogen, and burned that little spot off. It was probably the size of a pencil lead or smaller. I mean, it was small, and normally, my regular dermatologist, he comes out with a silver can, some kind of type flask, and I guess it has liquid nitrogen in it, and he uses a Q-tip in that liquid nitrogen, and he touches that spot, and it'll actually burn it off. You know. But this girl she was different. She used a spray can. And she put that thing on there. It's kind of like, a WD-40 can with a little sprayer on the end of it. She put that sucker on there, and she sprayed for like 8 seconds. And I'm thinking, my goodness, lady, how long are you going to spray this thing? And she sprayed and sprayed and sprayed and sprayed. And, hey, I went back, maybe a week or so later, and she checked it, and she said, it's fine, it's gone now. And I thought, well, all that freezing of that skin, maybe that caused, I had some redness there about the size of a quarter, and I also had some over here. And she said, yeah, it's okay. She says, but now I'm looking at your face, and I'm concerned about that red spot on your cheek. Now, I've been looking at pictures. You guys have probably noticed I've had some very light red spots on there probably for a year. And I didn't think much of it, a little discoloration, maybe sun made it turn red, and it just, never. Anyway, so she said, here's what we can do. She says, to biopsy it, she says, that's not going to be fun. I'll take a razor and I'll shave that whole piece of skin off and blah, 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 and it's going to hurt and blah, blah, blah. This is how the doctor's talking to me. And I think, no, I'm not in for that. And so then she says, that way, you know if it's cancer or not. Anyway, so she said, or I give you some chemo cream, and you put it on there for a couple weeks, and you're going to call me, and you're going to say it burns like heck, and it stings, and you can't take it any longer, and I'm going to say to you, well, that's just the way it is. So this is the doctor talking to me, and I didn't like that. So, I went to her because she's here locally, and I was trying to find a doctor locally. So I went back to my dermatologist that I've been seeing for, 20 years. And I said, I want this other dermatologist. I said, I didn't like her. And she was going to do all this and do all that and do all this. And I said, and I pointed it out to him. And I'm sure he's seen it on me before and never said anything. I said, see this right here? I said, what? Is this serious? What is this? He just kind of says, yeah, I'll give you some cream. Kind of like that. He didn't say we're going to cut it off and we're going to burn it off and you're going to be calling me and it's going to feel like a blowtorch or anything like that. So he just says, I'll give you some cream. I said, is this something serious or something that, is going to get me or am I going to make it through my old age? And he said, this is nothing that's going to get you. So he kind of downplayed it, but he said, I'm going to give you some cream. So anyway, my regimen is to put that on for 14 days. I put it on now for 10 days. I've been taking a picture every day for, each day since I started. The reason I did that, there's some YouTube videos of people that have gone through this treatment that had really serious skin issues. And what I got from those videos, one guy basically says, it's some bad stuff. And the other guy says, I don't ever want to do this again. But they ever put it all over the whole face, and their whole face was blistering up. And what happens is that kills those cells, and your skin falls off, and new skin comes on. And I saw pictures of them 2 weeks later, and their skin looked perfect. Their skin grew back. So anyway, it looked like around day 11 is when the misery started with those guys. Now, today is my day 10, and I'm starting to feel a little stinging, and this is looking a lot worse. And my lips are starting to get sore. So I don't know, guys. I think I'm going to be okay. It's going to be, Kathy said if I wore a blue shirt, that wouldn't show up as much, but I don't know. But anyway, that's the real story, guys. So,
yeah, and it's going to be that way right until his face falls off.
Yeah, and there's Doc in there. Doc, you're absolutely right, Doc. I guess 5FU is the term. I can't pronounce the the name of the cream there, but I think that's what it is, the 5FU. And Doc, man, Doc, it's a lot worse, Doc. I didn't look near this bad before I started using this stuff, and so it's starting to look pretty bad. But Doc, you can send me a private message, tell me if I need to update my will or something like that, man. But I think I'm going to be okay.
It's 5-fluorouracil.
Yeah, fluorouracil. That's what it is. Yeah, that's what it is. Let's see. Let me see what the chat room is saying here. Let's see. Yeah, Dr. Pimple Popper.
Yeah, Doc is saying it's 5-fluorouracil.
Yeah. Well, tonight my lips getting sore and puffing up. I'm only putting the cream on my cheeks here, but there are some side effects. I haven't really had any side effects. Some people complain about stomach and headaches and just all kinds of stuff, but I haven't had really any side effects that I know. I usually have a headache all the time. Let's see. Okay, Mark says he'll believe that one. Yeah. Oh, gee. So, I don't know, guys. I'm a little worried the next 4 days. I don't know. I'm supposed to stop in 4 days. Now, some people stay on this stuff 2 and 3 and 4 weeks.
Wow.
But, I don't know. He told me 14 days. So, that's what I'm going to go with, 14 days. All right. Hopefully, everybody will take this as a learning lesson. If you've been out in the sun a lot and you have red blotches on your skin and they don't go away, just go out there and get them checked. And just get them checked and take care of it before it does go bad. What's Doc saying? Little red scaly things
can turn into basal cell skin cancers if not treated.
I hope all those little things fall off, Doc. That's what I'm shooting for. Oh yeah, if not treated, okay. All right. Well, hey. Besides that, I'm feeling okay. I want to get the next 4 days over with for sure, because I think that's going to be the 4 days that I don't like. But I want to have fun tonight. I don't know. Let's just jump into a bunch of different things.
Yeah, it's not fun watching your face fall off over 4 days.
Yeah, I guess I could wear a mask, or something like that. I could wear a mask, and this also makes you very sensitive to sunlight. So these guys that are getting a treatment, they're wearing a hat, they're wearing a mask, they're wearing sunglasses. They look like they can't even go to the store thinking the store is going to get robbed or something.
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay, well, I feel
only
good.
For a couple more days.
I feel good, dear. Papa Doc. Hey, guys, if you don't realize it, Don there, WA4YYM, Don is a medical doctor. We call him Papa Doc. And Papa Doc, actually, Papa Doc's two people. You may not know this, but Papa Doc was the dictator ruler of Haiti, I think. I don't know if he's still there or if they killed him. But anyway,
no, they got rid of him long ago.
They got rid of him. But anyway, Don is called, his grandkids call him Papa Doc. So, Don, thanks for being with us tonight, and thanks for the words of encouragement that I think you said, I think Doc said somewhere, I'll be okay. Anyway, if he didn't say it, I'm still going to think it. All right. Hey, Earl. Oh, gee whiz.
No, I was down in Jackson for Winterfield Day.
Yeah, that was recently, wasn't it?
Yeah, Jackson Ham Fest was Saturday.
Yeah, y'all didn't do anything locally?
What do you mean? The club did, but I was down in Jackson. I went to the Ham Fest.
Okay. Well, hey, speaking of Ham Fest, I know you're going to be heading to this place here real soon.
Yep.
Let's see if I can find it.
Just a couple days.
Let me see if I can find it. I don't know if I can find it.
Oh, yeah. I am all geared up. I'm actually going down a little early. Fred and I are going to go to down to Cape Canaveral and visit the Kennedy Space Center and stuff down there for the day.
Well, let's look at this. Hamfest, I think it's hamfest.org. Nope, that's the wrong
No,
one.
Hamcation.com.
Hamcation. Yep. Let's look at this. Hamcation.com. Yeah, okay, here we go. So hamcation.com. Boy, that's big. That is big. Anyway, it looks like hamcation.com. Hamcation 2023. That's coming up here in, oh man, about a week or a little over a week.
Yes, sir.
We're at 10th through the 12th. Now, listen, the 12th is my birthday.
So what do you want me to buy you?
I want you to bring me back something, okay?
Something.
Now, just don't go real cheap, okay? Just give me something nice.
Okay.
Give me something
Okay.
nice to enter me. But anyway,
how about I'll just go over and see Martin and tell him to give me one of everything.
Is Martin going to be there?
I don't know. I hope he is.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Okay. Well, so week and a half. You're going to be down in Orlando. That'll be cool,
right,
man.
And Saturday or Friday at 12:45, I'll be doing my all new Arduino forum down there.
Yeah. Well, your weather probably will be better down there than it is here.
Oh, it's going to be a lot nicer, a lot warmer. Yeah. The trick is going to be, hopefully, you remember that year that you and I flew out on that that flight. We were the last ones out. They closed the airport right after we took off because of all the snow and ice.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I'm hoping we don't have that problem this year.
Yep.
So no, I'm heading out there. I'm ready to go. Looking forward to this trip. It's gonna be fun.
All right. Well, look, I hope you don't have the problem we had when we rode the airplane with all the cheerleaders.
Oh gosh, yes, I was there,
and I would imagine they do it every year.
Yeah,
at the same time, so it might coincide with Orlando again. But guys, Glenn and I will tell you again. Was it last year or a year before? When was it? Last year?
Oh gosh, no, it was
2 years, 3 years
before COVID. It was like 3 years ago.
I guess the year COVID started, maybe.
Yeah,
yeah. We flew down from Memphis on an airplane, and all that was on it was cheerleaders from around the country.
Yep.
It was a cheerleader flight. I don't know. How did we get booked on a cheerleader flight?
I don't know.
Anyway,
but,
we got there,
and
we got there, and I don't, it still upsets me. But the cheerleaders, I'm going to say they took our baggage with them to their hotel. That's what happened to us. We stood at the baggage thing for hours and hours until somebody got our baggage back from the cheerleaders at their hotel.
Right, and that was 2020 because that was the first trip I had out right after my heart surgery. Yeah. So I wasn't in the mood to be standing for that long anyway.
Well, you may face the same thing this time. All these events kind of happen on the same weekend every year. So
yeah.
I don't know where the cheerleaders.
Oh, I'll probably face it, but I'm flying a different airline, so hopefully they won't lose my luggage this time.
Yeah. You may get on that. You may get on one of those airlines that are just transporting prisoners.
Oh, that'd be my luck.
Yeah, your baggage this year might go to one of the local prisons. Yeah, man.
Well, as long as they take it going down, that's fine. It's coming back when it's loaded full of all the goodies that would bother me.
That's true. All right, let's see what's going on.
They're also saying that's Super Bowl weekend.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. All right. So, hey, coming not so soon, but Huntsville is coming up.
Huntsville's coming.
It'll be here before you know it. August.
This year is flying by.
That's right,
absolutely flying by. It's hard to believe.
We will be there. We will be there at the Huntsville Hamfest.
Well, I'll be there, and hopefully my new book will be out.
That'll be cool.
Yeah. We're just now getting started on the editing part of it. There's a chance it will be out in time for Dayton, but I will say more than likely it'll be out in time for Huntsville.
All right. Well, you know what? When Katie did Shack Pictures last week, we missed a lot of them. I'm going to pull the shack pictures back up, or some of them. People went to trouble to send them in, and we didn't get to see all of them. So,
well, while you're doing that, I'll give you one.
okay, what do you got?
We have been busy in time you last saw me.
Yeah.
We have the shack put back together.
Yeah.
We've
All
got
right.
the FT101MP. We've got the 991A. We got the ICOM 9700. We've got the antenna rotators and 2-meter, and just everything is back together.
Well, that is cool. That's
So
cool.
we're going to be on the air again real soon.
All right. Hey, I don't remember which pictures we went through last week. I don't remember. I think we showed this one. Let me see if I can line it up a little bit better. Not doing too good. See.
Well, that's some old gear right there.
Yeah, but that's,
Oh,
Hey,
yeah.
But you know what? The old gear.
Oh, there was
How would you
some
like to do a parks on the air activation and have to carry all that with you, man? I mean,
oh, man.
you need a pickup truck and put all that on a tailgate right there.
You need
know?
a forklift, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, somebody had a nice swan rig down at the
Yeah.
Hamfest, and oh gosh, I think it was a oh gosh, I can't remember. I want to say it's a Lafayette rig that looked just like the Heathkit rigs of that day. It
Yeah.
almost looked like a Heathkit DX60 from the back.
This is Chip Margelli.
Oh my gosh, he's got hair and stuff.
This is, huh?
He's got hair and stuff.
This is Chip. Chip is a friend of ours. Guys, you may or may not have seen it years ago. Chip was on the Tonight Show and did the CW versus text. And Chip did CW, and the teenagers did the text. And Chip and his partner beat the text kids, sending a message.
Yeah.
I
saw that live.
The message
Cool.
was, I saved a bunch of money on my car insurance or something like that.
Yeah, I saved a bunch of money by switching to Geico.
Yeah. So this is Chip right here. I don't think that's Chip's station. I think he's making contacts here from someone else.
Nice
But
Collins set.
that does not look like Chip to me, but Chip says that's him. So
yeah, we'll take his word at it.
yeah, we're gonna go for that. Oh, well, look. Hey, we'll just have a mixture. We'll have a mixture. We got a mixture of stuff tonight. Shack pictures and ham plates. This is our Tennessee ham radio operator plate. Now, somebody asked me why they put emergency on there. Well, I can tell you. I checked with the state why they put emergency on there. If I've got that emergency tag on there, I can drive 150 miles an hour. I don't have to stop for police. I don't have to do anything. Okay.
Yeah, we'll remind you about that trip to Dayton.
Yeah. That's another story, man. That's another story. And let's see who we got here. This looks like a California plate. Yeah, that's a pretty plate.
KM6UGI.
Yeah. We'll get back to shack pictures in a minute. This what's coming up. Oh, this looks cool, man. Look at this. I doubt he's down in Florida.
No, that's a pretty safe bet.
Let me see if I can move him
sand
over.
doesn't fall from the skies like that.
These pictures aren't lining up. It's perfect. Let's see if we can read the license plate. I don't know.
Bill, I like that they were dressed like the 1800 telegraph operators. That
Do you
was
have any
that was
idea
really
what?
cool.
You have any idea what state that is?
Cold.
See if I can make it bigger. N6 something.
N6 JRZ. So that's probably going to be Northern California or somewhere in California.
Maybe not. See if I can get a little closer. I think it's. Let's say California. Yeah. I can't read it on my monitor.
It's N6.
Yeah, but that don't mean nothing anymore.
That don't mean nothing. Yeah.
I mean, I'm about to get maximum
I was
magnification
going to say,
here.
somebody can look him up on QRZ and tell us.
I don't know. Count the letters in the word. I don't know, man. Oregon? That's too many. Well, I can't tell. Cannot tell.
Okay, N7XGR is saying Oregon.
Okay, Oregon. Okay, all right.
I'll take his word for it.
All right, Oregon plates. Okay, let me.
You know, I missed the days that the call sign matched up with the place you lived.
Yeah. Nowadays, I mean, back when we got our license, if you moved to a different call area, you had to get a new call. And
Right.
Nowadays, you don't know. Hey, I hear twos all the time. And I'm thinking, okay, is the guy
Nope,
really
they're in Florida.
Is he really in New York or New Jersey? No, he's usually in Florida. Let's see what else we got coming in. Again, hey guys, this is a mixture. I'm going shack pictures and
Yeah, I'd run out and get a picture of my plate, but it's all got ice on it.
yeah. Oh, here's a neat shot. This was let's see if I can show it here. If I can show this.
You have to slide that picture over.
Yeah, let's see. Yeah, this is not fitting very well. This is NASA. This is Echo. I don't know if you guys remember Echo, but he came out sometime 60s, I guess about the time Russians put Sputnik up. And all it was,
I think Echo.
Yeah, all it was a big balloon, and they bounced a microwave signal off of it. And, oh, wait a minute. I got to hit the button here so people can see it. There we go.
There you go.
Now
yeah,
now they can see it. So, yeah, that's all that was, just a balloon with, I mean, it was very crude back then, just to bounce the signal off a balloon.
Yeah.
But, I guess you got to take it in baby steps, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Let's see what's coming up here next.
Bill is saying that he saw the Echo balloon visually.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is Alan White. Alan White, 1973. That's still.
Yep, that's the Heathkit. Oh gosh, what is that? The HG10 receiver or HR10 and
I'll
the
try to read it.
DX60.
That is the HG10 VFO, the DX60.
No, the receiver is like, it's an HX10 maybe. The receiver is Heathkit as well, and I want to say it's like the HX10.
I don't know.
HR10.
I don't know.
Dwayne is saying it's an HR10. Okay. I'll buy that.
Okay. Cool. Let's see. Well, let's see. Working as a novice, WB2 OTM, Pine Hill, New York, during the Summer of Love, about 1969 right there. There we go. That's about 1969.
10 miles from Woodstock.
Yeah. What's he doing right there if he's that close to Woodstock, man?
Yeah, I'd be at the concert, man.
Yeah, parents probably wouldn't let him go,
Probably.
You got to slip
Probably
away.
a little too young to go.
You got to slip away, man. I'll be back by dark.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Stand out on the roof and hear it.
We saw this one last week. How does this guy get a full color picture that looks so good from the 60s? That's what I want to know. This guy must have been rich. Who is this? Mark Langenfeld.
WN9ETW.
He must have had a really expensive camera to do that. All my
that
pictures.
Is one heck of a camera
all
shot.
my pictures back then were black and white. This don't even look like a real picture.
No.
Yeah.
No, that's some high quality there because that would have been film.
Yeah. Well, okay. So I must have got out of all the pictures. Oh, they're scattered everywhere. It'd be nice if people, when they put your pictures in it, put it under the same thread where we could see them all.
Yeah.
And hey, this is old David Osley. He may even be in the chat room. He was in here last week. I think he joins us pretty much. But that was a cool picture there.
Yeah.
And got his Roy Rogers lamp there. I think he was 14 years old there, man. Man, 14 years old.
Wow. Yeah,
Oh,
Dwayne's saying that film is making a comeback. I kind of like that.
Who's
I
doing
miss
what?
the quality of film.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, another California. This looks like a pretty recent tag right here.
Yeah, WD6FWE.
Yep. Yep. We saw that one. That was me back in the day.
I don't think I have I don't have any of me in my younger days.
Marty Duke here. Get Marty.
I had hair down to my shoulders and stuff.
Yeah. You must have been a hippie back in.
Nah, I just let my hair grow.
We didn't have any hippies. My little town was so small, you know. I mean, we didn't have any. We didn't have any hippies like that. This is pretty cool there. Hey, you got him it looks like you got him a tube checker there, man. Tube checker. Got some cards on the wall.
Yeah.
Got him a telephone. This is
that actually looks almost like the Heathkit tube checker. I got one of those.
Yeah, S40 and a DX35 right there. Let's see. This looks cool. This is Jeff Leitry's 1960s field day. That was a night kit R100, now ICO's 720 transmitter. Yeah, okay, that's cool. Got a nice tent here. Probably rained on them. Usually rains on field day. Let's see. I think it's most of the pictures there. Let me go back up to car tags, and hey guys, if you will, join our Facebook group. We got a lot of stuff here, and feel free to post pictures and ask questions and have a good time here. Let's see if I can pull up some more tags here. Here we go. I got to hit the previous maybe. Here we go. Utah. We got Utah represented here. What's that on his bumper? I can't tell what that is. Is that mud?
I didn't see it on the bumper.
Is that mud?
It's probably mud because there's no text on the bumper. There's just 3 circles that I'm seeing.
3 circles?
On the top of the bumper.
Oh, where'd it go? Well, I lost it. Oh, there it is. Come on. Let me get back down to our tags again. Here we go. And view previous. So we had a Utah there. What do we got here? This is gonna be tough to read. See if I can get it over where we can. See if I can get it over here.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard to read.
Let me zoom in here. Let's see if you can read it here now.
W something 0 IK. I can't really.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Yeah. Looks like WX0 MIK.
Yeah, well, that's Mike. We're going to have to give Mike a lesson in taking pictures at license plates. Because I think.
Or KIK, yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's see what else we got here.
Nice truck, but would rather see the license plate.
Yeah, nice truck. That. Go big orange. Here we go. We got a N1. Who is this guy?
N1BAC.
He's from the state of Veteran up there. No, I said New Hampshire.
Yeah, he's New Hampshire.
We got a New Hampshire. Radio. This is
AB4D.
North Carolina. North Carolina's in here.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see if we can get worked all states on the license
Yeah,
plates.
see if we can get worked all license plates. I kind of, it don't look right the way they put those holes in the bottom of the license plate there, It just kind of messes up their name, I think. That's cool. Another Kentucky here. Ooh. Get it smaller here. Amateur radio operator. Different states, have different things down here. Some don't even, some say radio operator, ham operator. Ours says emergency. Some don't reflect anything down here.
I forget what mine says.
Yeah. Here's a cool one here, Alabama. I imagine that's just for display purposes only.
That's for display purposes. That's not anybody's call.
Yeah, I can see you get pulled over and the cop calls it in. Alabama, 000000.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, here's a 5. Ooh, see if we can bring us in a little better here. I can zoom that in a little bit. There we go.
Yeah, K5IZX.
Yeah, let's see. Bring it in a little bit more. What state's that?
Louisiana.
Louisiana. Hey, we just picked up a new state, man.
Got a new state.
Yep. Up a new state. All right.
That looks like Florida.
Florida. Picked up the KP4. That's Puerto Rican call.
Kilowatt Fox for Sierra Uniform.
Is that an F? I thought it was a P. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it looked like a P at first, but no, it's KF4SU.
All right.
Yeah, KP4 is Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
When I lived in Miami, we had a CW path into Puerto Rico on 15 meters virtually every day.
Yeah. New Jersey, amateur radio. Cool.
K2CWM.
Yep. I think that's old Curtis. That's Curtis. That's my buddy up in wherever he is. That's Curtis Myers. Curtis W. Myers. That's who that is. Let's see. What we got here? Tennessee. Oh, there's no Tennessee. Emergency. Cool. And let's see. Oh, we keep going here. We got another state here, Texas.
Yeah.
A I4BA, Texas. Radio operator, it says. Here's another Texas. Oh, that's the same guy.
Same guy.
Yeah, it looks like he got a cattle stampede or something over in there. He had to change tags. Yeah.
Yeah, that one looks a little worked over.
Yeah, it does. Here's my friend. He grew up in the hometown that I did up over in Wilson, Arkansas. He a little older than me. Went off to college, joined the Marines, got married. He lives in North Carolina now. That's my friend, Bill. WZ5X in North Carolina. That's a cool plate. California. Did we look at this one earlier? KM60 UGI.
I think that's a new one.
Oh, is it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see. We already saw that one. All right. Well, I think we covered most of our license plates, and we got our check pictures in that we missed last time. Okie dokie. Let's see. Hey guys, I'm playing with and showing you guys the new SAT. It's probably not new. It's new to us. The satellite system that is in a small box. Let me see if I got a picture of that. Yeah, right here. We've talked about that in the last couple of shows. Doesn't even require a computer. And this little box plugs right into your 9700 radio with that little CIV cable there. And, man, you're working satellites instantly. I've got a little video here. This afternoon, I was just tuning around and on the sat here, and the space station came over, and I just did a quick video of the space station. I think I've got it. Maybe I don't have it. Well, I don't have it. Hey, Glenn, do you remember this?
Oh my gosh, yes. I remember it was kind of like that Steve Martin in the Jerk moment. The new phone books are here when my call sign finally made it in.
That's right. You know, I had several of those. I have looked and looked. I can't find mine. I don't know where they are. But guys,
they actually have a lot of them online now.
Yeah, guys, before, yeah, and this is a lot of these are online. The old ones are online, and that's where I found this.
Yeah, I found my call.
So guys, this is the call book. This is how we used to find out who was a ham and who we talked to and get their address for their QSL card.
Right.
And we didn't have QRZ back then. Well, there was no internet, so
no,
this
we
book,
had to mail it, and if they were DX, you generally had to include these international reply coupons they could use for postage.
Well, you know, this book came out 4 times a year, I think, every 3 months.
Yeah, well, I think the book came out once a year, but they had supplements every 4 months.
Yeah, well, you know, you got new people getting their license every month, you know, so.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know, at 16 years old, you know, you don't have the money, and, you know, you can't go to your parents and say, hey, I need this book every month, you know, but, so here's what it looked like, man. This is the information you got right here. Look at this. Let me see if I can blow it up a little bit. I'll show you what I looked like in the call book. Let me get it just really large here.
I'm gonna be in that one.
Are you?
Also, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll probably be a WA4 FTX in that one.
So yeah, okay. So guys, if you look right here, this is how the call book worked. It was by alphabetical order on the call only. At this time, this was at this time right here, I was actually WA5 KUB. You know, I started out as a novice, WN5, but, you know, upgraded. So I'm WA5 KUB. It showed me as a general at that time. And here's the information that you would get. Let's see. Oh, wait a minute. If you look real close there, about in the center, you'll see my call, WA5 KUB G for general. There's my name, Tommy C. Medlin, 11 Washington Street, Wilson, Arkansas. Look at that. Guys, that was it. That was the way you get in touch with hams around there, you know? So, you know, back in the olden days, I tell you, Glenn, do you remember your first contact? You must not if you have to say,
Actually, I believe it was it was probably my friend, WB4SWH.
Yeah.
Was probably my first one. And then I talked to another ham down in South Miami, WN4BTQ, Gary.
Yeah.
And then I got Puerto Rico.
Oh, well, you know, I have the QSL card of my of one of the first people I worked. No, I wasn't really referring to. Do you remember who it was? I just remembering. Did you remember the experience of making your first call?
Yes, yeah. That was. I only had an HW16 and I only had 3 crystals for 15 meters.
Yeah.
And you know, so here I'm on 15 meters and virtually, you know, the downside of a solar cycle, and I still was able to work a lot of folks, and I lived on 15 meters.
Yeah. Well, I want to show you something. I had a T150, a Knight T150 transmitter I built was a very nice transmitter our parents bought, but I didn't have a receiver. I want to show you. I made my first contact with that receiver right there.
Oh, wow.
Now, normally you would think it's impossible. I mean, that was a 9 transistor AM shortwave radio. And if you look at this thing, if you look at it, the 80-meter band, I'm going to try to blow it up here. The 80-meter band right there, 3.5 to 4, was only about a half-inch long.
Right.
Okay? It was about a half-inch long. And there is no band.
800 kilohertz.
There is no band spread. I mean, how, hey, the novice band must have been only about 1 millimeter wide.
Oh, yeah.
But
and it was kilocycles back then, not kilohertz.
Yeah. But it didn't even have a BFO, but I had a signal generator, and I had a signal generator beating almost on the same frequency. I called CQ, and I got an answer. I don't know what the guy said, but I got an answer. Somehow I figured out who it was. It was actually a ham in my little town of 1,000 people. Didn't even realize he was there, but he was a general class. And I got to know him, and soon after that we realized I had to have a better receiver. So again, my parents bailed me out and got me a new receiver. Bought it used, of course, and let's see. I thought I picked the first receiver here. Yeah, there it is right there. I loved that receiver there. Well, that was a little tube receiver. 80 through 6 meters, and it was a ham band only. So if you look at the dial there, you can see that each band was actually like the 3.5 to 4. The entire width of the screen was the band. And hey, if you look right there in the center at 3.7 at the top, that was a novice band there, 3.7 to 3.75, I think. And that's what we worked in. But that was a nice little receiver. It worked well, and it had 6 meters on it. Back then, you could hold the tech license and your novice at the same time. And I did that. I was on voice on 6 meters, and CW on the HF frequencies there. So that was my first receiver I had there. Yeah, that band. Back in the olden days, Glenn,
Well, if you look real close on that dial, you can see a line underneath the main line, and that's the novice band.
Yeah. Let me blow it up again. Yeah. So right there you see 3.7.
3.7 to
3.7 to 3.75 was the novice band.
Yep.
And
see, I was there at 21.1 to 21.250.
And see the voice band back then. The voice band started at 3.8.
Yeah,
3.8 and up was the voice band, and CW was below 3.8. Now today the voice band on 80 is where is it, Glenn?
3,600. Look it up.
It's 3,600.
Yeah.
So nearly the entire band now has gone to voice. I mean,
right.
Over the years, we've had several changes. Back when I started in ham radio, early '60s, you had your novice license. You only had 1 year to upgrade, and if you did not upgrade 1 year, your novice license was gone.
Exactly. I had 2 years. They changed it later on, but I had 2 years to upgrade. So yeah.
Well, I didn't realize it, but there are still some people in the U.S. that still hold a novice license right now, and it's legal.
Yeah. Yes, they changed the rules.
But they're not offering that license anymore, but the people that have a license, they're still out there, and they are novices still. So that was kind of interesting.
Yeah.
But, the bands have changed a lot. And, back, oh, man, it must have been in the 70s. First of all, you had your novice license, and then if you wanted to work HF, of course, you had to go to your general license.
Right.
And then, let's see, novice and general. Man, this is so long ago. My memory's leaving me now. They came out with incentive licensing, I think in the 70s, where they started taking away part of the band. See, a general back then had the entire band. But then they came out and said, okay, this year we're going to give, half the voice band or a fourth of the voice band to, we're going to take that away and give it to like advanced only. And we're going to take another fourth of the band away and give that to generals only. So if you wanted to work the whole band that you used to work, you had to upgrade to a extra class license. So that was called incentive licensing, and that happened back over a couple year period. I think it's somewhere in the late 70s.
Late 70s, because I had to get my advanced because I wanted to work slow scam, but I needed that part of the band, so I had to upgrade to advanced.
Yeah, so that was incentive to upgrade, and back then, like when I upgraded to general, I had to drive to Memphis, Tennessee to take my ham license, the ham test. I took it at the post office. The FCC came to the post office in Memphis 4 times a year. So I drove down and took the test, 16 years old, and got my general. And there was a license called conditional that had the same privileges as general. And I think it may, I don't know if it's still out there or not, but there are people today that still have a conditional license. But the conditional license said something like, you were more than 150 miles from an FCC examining point, therefore we're going to let you take the test by mail, basically. So that was another thing that went on there. Back in the early days, I'm not a VE right now. I didn't want to take the time to be a volunteer examiner or anything, but back in the early days, I, as a general class, could give a test, could give a tech test or a novice test to anyone. It was a lower class ticket, so I could give a test and send that in, and and it didn't require 3 examiners. I mean, you could do it by yourself, just one person.
Right. That's how I got my novice license.
Yeah, and that's how I got mine. When I got my novice license, I was sent. First of all, I found a tech and says, I want to get my ham license, and he of course he was a tech. He couldn't do anything for me, right? So he couldn't give the license, but he hooked me up with a guy in a town 13 miles north of me, Osceola, Arkansas, and this guy was the general manager of the local radio station. He had a really nice ham set up there, and I went. He's a very nice guy. He gave me my novice test, and I'm not saying he cheated, and I surely didn't cheat, but when he was out, we were out in his shack, and he was getting ready, and he was playing with his key, and he gave me this magazine, and he said, read that article there while I'm setting stuff up. Well, I'm not much of a reader. I'm not much of a reader. In school, I didn't even read books. And so anyway, he gave me the code test, and I think the code test actually was the paragraph in that article that I was supposed to read.
Yes.
But anyway, so that means, hey, I got it legally. I got it correct, guys. I'm legit. Okay. So that was kind of an interesting deal there. Let's see.
Yeah, let's see. Doc says he had to ride the bus 125 miles to the FCC office in downtown Atlanta to get his general.
Oh yeah.
And
well, look, man. I mean, hey, Doc. I'm sure that I don't know what age you were, Doc, when you rode that bus. 125 miles of bus is a long ways, and
yeah.
I was 16 years old. I just got my driver's license. Little town, Wilson, Arkansas, population about 1,000. I actually drove from 40 miles from my home in Arkansas to Memphis, Tennessee, a big town back then, and by myself. And that's the first time I've probably ever driven like that. And it was funny. I went in there, and I'm with all these old guys. All these old guys are in there taking their test, man. And the CW starts going, and so I'm copying 13 words a minute, man. I'm doing good. When it's over, all the old guys were failing, and they were all complaining. The Noah is bouncing off the walls, and it's unreadable, and blah 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 blah. But I copied it. I guess I copied it when it bounced off the wall. So
Don says that he was 15. Yeah. Oh, not. I was going to say, Don, 15 hours old. That's a good trick.
Yeah.
Now, I had to go to the FCC office in downtown Miami.
Yeah.
And let me tell you something. I was like, oh gosh, when I upgraded to general, I was like 16, 17 years old, maybe.
Yeah.
And I was absolutely terrified to be in that FCC office to take that 13 word a minute code test.
Oh man, and you went to Miami. Can you? I imagine everybody speaking Spanish in there.
Oh no, but I mean, I was just, back then 13 words a minute was light speed, man. I could barely do it.
Well,
and then you got to take that theory test.
13. And I even did I got the extra with the code. I'm a code extra. What was it? 20 or 21 for the extra?
20. I took one look at that 20 and I said, never mind.
Look, at 20 words, and the way they calculated words was a word was 5 characters.
Right.
So you got 5 characters per word. You've got a space between each word. So 20 words is 100 characters. 100 characters, and you'd have 20 spaces. So that's equivalent to 120. That's equivalent to 120 characters per minute. Now, folks, under my math,
two characters a second.
That's 2 characters
or 2 elements a second. I could not do that. That's
2 characters per second. Now, but I did it. And but back then too, I'm trying to think when we took the code test. I think I remember you had to copy at least.
You had to copy 1 minute solid.
1 minute solid with no errors.
Correct.
But okay, it's coming back to me now. But they would send a normal conversation like a QSO.
Right.
And they would say, name is, and you knew they're going to say, name is, they pretty much.
Right. Yeah, you could
QTH
backtrack
is,
if you missed one or two.
they kind of messed around with you if they said the weather or the antenna is this or that, but, name is Tom, QTH is, West Memphis, your RST 5995.
Yeah, I don't remember what was on my
test.
Those
parts were pretty easy to fill in the blank, But then they might throw in, the antenna is a 3-element Yagi up 42.5 feet or something like that. That might get you there,
No, but I mean, that was rough. And then you also have to remember, we didn't have calculators or pocket calculators back then. We had to do all of the math calculations pretty much by hand or slide rule. And I'm not sure they allowed a slide rule back then.
Yeah, I don't know.
But, I remember having to do all those calculations by hand and stuff because we did not have these little nice pocket calculators that everybody's got today.
Yeah, and I would have probably done a whole lot better in college if I'd had a calculator, but we didn't have calculators back then.
No, we had slide rules.
That's right, man.
Real men use slide rules, man. That's all there is to it.
Oh, boy. I'm just born
I love my slide
born
rule.
in the wrong time, man. I could
do anything with that slide rule.
I could do the basics. I could do the basics on the slide rule, but man.
Yeah, Brett saying he had to use the slide rule uphill both ways. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, man.
I do indeed love the. Yeah, I don't know. I just really love those slide rules days.
Hey, when you get old like me, you start thinking about 50 years ago, and I think a lot about my military. I think every day about the military and what I did and when I was overseas and stuff. But I also think about going to college over there before I went in the military and over at Arkansas Tech. And again, guys, really, there is a nuclear one over at Arkansas Tech. Near the college, there is a nuclear power plant. And that was over there when I was there. So you can pick whatever story you want, the nuclear story or the other one about these spots on my face. But I'm planning a trip in March to go back over to Russellville. I want to visit the campus and maybe even go in and see if I can get in my old dorm room. You know, there the campus has grown tremendously, but I'm looking forward to going over there, spending about a day and a half there. I'm going to attend the River Valley Amateur Radio Club meeting on a Tuesday night. I'll probably give a presentation to them on that Tuesday night and just share with them some of the things we've been doing over the last few years and some of the crazy things I remember when I was over in Russellville at Tech. You know, when we built the radio station KRUD and we put that on the air. And when we got called into the dean's office for wanting to fly a balloon, you know, like a 20-foot balloon filled with natural gas, and the FAA didn't think that was a good idea. So there's all kinds of funny stories, you know, about that. All right, so well, I didn't have the video I was looking for. Let me see if I got it right here real quick.
Don's saying that he waited in 2001 to get his extra. He could have copied 20 words a minute on his best day, but not consistently. And I was the same way, except I waited until 2011. And
yeah,
Don, he still got his slide rule. I still have a slide rule on display in one of my bookcases. So yeah.
All right. Well, I had I was going to show you. I had a short 1 minute video of using the SAT over here, and had a great pass with the International Space Station. I want to show you guys how clear it was coming in and how that sounded. Hey, guys, if you remember, we made the CQ calendar last year. Let me see if I can show you this real quick. We must be up close to the front. Let's see. I want to show you something here. Yeah, maybe we didn't.
I think that radiation got more than your cheeks.
Man, I tell you what, they might have took us out of the calendar. Oh, there we are. You know, we were in the CQ calendar that they put out every year, and we had a nice write up, nice picture. Where's it? You know, when we made this one, and there we go. So we had a nice picture there in CQ. We were September 22, and then I got another calendar this week. This is CQ's calendar. I guess their new calendar. Cool. Look at that. They got a. That's kind of neat. I thought about doing this. They built a transmitter there on a board, but they just drove tacks in the wood and they soldered to the tacks. That's kind of neat, right there.
That's kind of cool.
That's kind of neat the way they did that. But
it's along the lines of that one tube board radio that Bob Heil did last year.
Yeah. Well, let's see here. Got a lot of interesting pictures here in their calendar with different projects, different things going on. And yeah, this is the new calendar. Well, I know we're in here somewhere. Gee, maybe they took us out. Let me start at the back. Maybe we didn't show you what we. Oh, there we go. All right, there we go. They put flight. What was it? Flight 18 in their calendar right there. They show us there. So we made your calendar the last 2 years in a row there. That was interesting there. Okay. Hey, let's do this real quick, and we'll be right back with more. We'll try to open Zoom and the phone lines here in just a minute for everybody. Happy New Year from ICOM. Didn't get everything on your wish list? Spice up your ham shack with one of ICOM's popular handhelds, mobiles, or base stations. These radios are perfect for working your favorite bands while staying inside or venturing outside in the winter. The IC705 is a perfect sidekick and QRP companion. Base station features and functionality at the tip of your fingers in a portable package covering HF 6 meters, 2 meters, and 70 centimeters. This compact rig weighs in just over 2 pounds, with RF direct sampling for most of the HF bands and IF sampling for frequencies above 25 megahertz. The ID52A is a VHF-UHF dual bander with D-Star and FM dual mode functions, and is the first handheld amateur radio with a full-color 2.3-inch waterfall display. This radio supports conventional FM communications and D-Star, simplex, repeater, regional, and worldwide calls over the D-Star Internet Gateway. You can send pictures over D-Star with a connected Android device. Create your own band openings with the IC9700. This transceiver radio brings direct sampling to your UHF, VHF, weak signal world. This all-mode transceiver is loaded with innovative features that are sure to keep you busy. It has faster processors, higher gain input, and higher resolution. The IC7300 is a high-performance HF transceiver with a compact design that will far exceed your expectations. This transceiver digitizes RF before various receiver stages, reducing inherent noise in different IF stages. The IC7300 changed the way entry-level HF is designed. Visit www.icomamerica.com/amateur for more information on ICOM radios. All right, we are back. I want to take this opportunity again just to let everybody know out there, if you're listening on shortwave, you're listening to Amateur Radio Roundtables, a show about ham radio and shortwave. And hopefully you're out there on shortwave listening on WBCQ on 7490 kilohertz. Send us an email to tom@w5kub.com, tom@w5kub.com. We'd love to hear from you. We got a great Facebook group, over 13,000 members now. Just search for Facebook for W5KUB. Join that. We'd love to have you there. And if you will, everybody, please hit the subscribe button on the video there. We'd love for you to hit the subscribe button. We need more subscribers to help advertise our show there. Let's see, what else? Hey, Glenn, during the break there, Glenn and I were talking about, what were we talking about, Glenn? Oh, novice and crystals. Crystals.
Yeah, back when you were a novice, you had to be crystal locked. You couldn't use a VFO. And I had all of 3 crystals for 15 meters. So when you called CQ, you would have to tune up and down the band because the other guys may not have a crystal for your same frequency. So you'd, tune 50, kilohertz up and down just to look for somebody.
Yeah, and hey, I think I had a couple crystals, not many. In fact, I mean, I can even remember swapping crystals from time to time with other hams, so we'd have a different frequency.
Exactly.
Now I don't know what difference that would make, actually, to tell you the truth, because nobody was ever on the same frequency. We were always on like a duplex, man. We were always transmitting here and always receiving here. And I did get a letter from the FCC when I was 16 years old. They told me, Glenn, that I was like 5 cycles out of the novice one time.
Wow.
Or something like that. I was out of the novice band. So I had to send back a letter to the FCC in triplicate. Now, at 16 years old, I'm not even sure I even knew what triplicate meant, but
pretty much,
that means find the old carbon paper and, get 3 pieces of paper there, and you type this letter. I'm sorry, sir, it was an accident. It will never happen again. Please don't fine me the $10,000 or put me in jail for 10 years. Please. That's signed WN5KUB. And then you mail that off to the FCC. And
when they got those, they had to be laughing.
And you never heard from them again, Never heard from them, Oh, man. Okay, so, I
don't know.
Yeah, go ahead, Bill.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah,
My internet's incredibly slow tonight.
You got a what?
Yeah, Bill.
Your internet?
I have a crystal that actually, it's a military crystal that has a little dial on it, and it compresses or decompresses the crystal in it.
Yeah.
Oh, man, how cool is that?
Yeah, that would be cool.
And you could shift it like 5 or 10,
Yeah.
Probably 20 cycles either way.
Wow,
that was pretty good. It was illegal. We could not have, as a novice, we could not have a VFO. So we had to be
this
crystal.
would have been the way to get around it.
We had to be crystal control. Crystal
I
control.
didn't even know that existed.
Yeah. We had
I found it in my uncle's stuff. It might have been from the 40s or maybe even the 30s, but probably the 40s during World War II. And I had a big box of crystals that was FT243 crystals. It was in that box of my uncle's stuff. His call was W8UN. He was a ham since 1921, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And Tom, I posted a picture of my ham shack in 1970 on your Facebook page.
It is. Let me see if I can find
a little while ago. So, but I was going to mention the FCC CW exam. My dad took it, and he was a radio man in World War II. And can you still hear me? Okay.
Yeah, I hear you.
Anyways, my dad was a radio man in World War II, and he took that FCC CW test, and he sailed right through it, and the guy flunked him. And he said, how come I flunked? I got perfect copy. And he says, where you had a U, I mean, whenever there was a J, you put a U. And he says, well, I don't cross the top of my J's. So the guy still flunked him. He was a mean bureaucrat.
Well, I remember going there. I kind of think they wore drill instructor hats when I went. You know.
When my dad went back a month later, because we had to wait 30 days, and we had to drive all the way to Detroit, which was 120 miles. Every J, he had a line that was about 3 inches long over the top of every J he copied. And then he handed it to the guy, and I hope that's J enough for you.
Oh, ouch. That's good. No, all I remember was I was just terrified in that office getting my test.
I don't think I was afraid of it. I wasn't afraid.
I was a 16-year-old kid, and
yeah.
I didn't know what those people. I figured if I flunked the test, they'd just, kind of haul me off. And that'd be the last you see of me.
When I was sick for several days when I was in high school, and I was home, and my friend, my own W8UN, would talk to K4HQ in Florida every day. And that guy wouldn't slow down for anybody. He would send at 30 words a minute. And I kept trying to, and my uncle would be around 20. And I'd just get bits and pieces. And I worked on it for several days until I got perfect copy on my uncle. And all of a sudden, I had perfect copy on the guy who wouldn't go below 30 words a minute. So I got on the air, and I started sending to him at 30 words a minute. And he said, please slow down, QRS. He could dish it out.
But he couldn't take it.
But he couldn't take it.
Yep. That's funny. Yeah, we had a guy on a little 15-meter group down there in Miami, and he was just fast as lightning as a novice. I mean, he's doing 20 words a minute on the novice band, and man, that was crazy. But yeah, you had to get that speed up, within a year or two. And, when you're under that kind of pressure, it's hard. And you don't understand that the code level and the speed kind of comes in steps. You reach a plateau and you're like, I can't get any faster. And I was stuck at like 11 words a minute, could not get to 13 to save my life. And
yeah, I was stuck around 10 or 11, but it took, 3 days at home doing nothing but listening to CW conversations on my old Holografters SX28A.
All right, here you go, Bill. I was looking for your picture. I found your picture.
Oh, okay.
There we go.
Yeah.
No, I'm having trouble. I'm having trouble finding your picture. I can't.
I just posted it on your Roundtable page.
Did you just do a new post, or did you put it under the other pictures?
Oh, it's a brand new post.
Okay. All right.
You might have to refresh your browser.
Yeah. Well, well, I think the ice storm out there is doing something to my internet.
Did you have to go on generator?
Not yet.
Oh, well, that's
Not
good. How
yet.
much?
Not yet.
What ice did you get?
Well, we got a mixture of sleet and snow out there, maybe an inch thick, maybe.
Oh,
And then it kind of
it
quit.
transitioned to ice or to sleet around 4 or 5 today, so not a lot of it stuck.
It quit, but it still was sprinkling or light rain out there. It's below freezing, and all the trees have ice on all the limbs. So I think it's building up slowly.
But sleet doesn't stick like the freezing rain does.
Well, this is rain now.
Oh,
Rain,
you got
rain
rain
on
now?
ice. Yeah.
Yeah,
we just got rain here. It all the nasty stuff went a little north of us.
Yeah. All right, I'm working on it.
I just posted it about 10 minutes ago, Tom. It's on your Roundtable. It's probably the first entry in it.
Yeah,
I know a few people.
I got it. I got it. Here, let me put it on here. Yeah, here we go. There's Bill right there. Let me get.
Oh my gosh, one of those old Johnson Vikings.
And let me do this right here, and then click right here. There
That's a Helicopters SX-101A on the right. Weighs about 60 pounds, and that's a Viking 2 on the left.
Yeah.
With a crystal. That's I had to carry both of those from the flea market at Dayton in 1968. I carried them both. Actually, 69. It was 1969. I had to carry them both from the flea market up the hill to the far parking lot.
Oh, ouch!
That was the start of my back problems back when I was 16.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Pounds. I had them stacked on top of each other. They're 120 pounds of radio.
But you also have to remember back then you had those knobs and you had to turn every one of them to get that thing tuned up and lined up and ready to rock.
Oh yes.
You had to dip the plate and
crystals.
Yeah, dip the plate and make the tubes glow blue, and then you knew you had it right.
All right. Well, that don't look like you. Your hair is a little different color there, and you got a lot of it.
Yeah. I actually had hair.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Man. That just don't. That don't look right. Don't look right. All right.
I have yet to get to worked all states because every time I get close, I had to move.
I got that very quickly. Actually, a friend of mine, K7IRK, he got one of those crystal clock oscillators on 28 megahertz, 28.125, I think it was. It was a standard frequency clock oscillator. They put out about 50 milliwatts if you put them into an antenna. And he had a little, one of those lantern batteries, a Morse code key, and that little oscillator hooked up to his antenna. And he worked all states on 10 meters using that. And he said there was still life in that battery.
Wow.
But that was when the band was really hot.
Yeah. No,
and it's getting that way now. It's 10 meters is open every day now.
Yeah.
All over the world. That one balloon that's in Antarctica that's on 10 meters being heard in the U.S. now, and all over the world. So 10 meters, and that's only 10 milliwatts.
Yeah.
And, I've got a 10 meter whisper beacon going as well. I'm getting reception in Hawaii, Alaska, all over the U.S. and all over Europe, and sometimes down to Brazil with 20 milliwatts. So, it's just phenomenal. During the winter field day, I worked 10 meter CW, and I could hear Japan and all kinds of stations. So it was really, although, the majority of activity was in FT8, but there were still some diehard CW people on there. So.
Well,
Let's see,
guys,
for me,
you
go
know,
ahead, Tom.
yeah, I was going to say to everybody, Huey, Dewey, and Louie have been up now 234 days, and Daryl, let's see, was it Larry, Daryl, and his other brother Daryl? They've been up 117 days now, and just it's unfortunate, but Larry, Moe, and Curly went down about a week ago. They were carrying Glenn's call, KW5GP. They went down somewhere down around Antarctica.
But they had a good run.
They did.
A really good run.
They did.
Hanging out with the penguins right now.
Yeah. So, that we've done pretty good here as far as those two balloons. I mean, we got some seasoned pilots there, Huey, Dewey, and Louie, and there's 112. That's Huey, Dewey, and Louie. They're supposed to be heading straight across the U.S. there. So
113 is hanging over Paraguay and Ecuador, and
113 just circled.
It just did a big loop over Brazil and the rainforest, and now it's back over Argentina.
Yeah, so looks like it's heading for the tip of, maybe heading for the tip of Africa there. We'll see.
So out of the 9 balloons launched, the APRS one may still be operating. We heard it again as it went back over the launch site 2 months later, and it was still working great. That's K4UAH-3. K4UAH-2 and K4UAH-4 are still operating. 4 has got, I'm sorry, not 2, 4 and 6. K4UH4 has got Zach, KM4ZIA's call from Atlanta, Georgia area. And K4UH4 has got my call sign on it. And then we've got W5KUB115, which has KD9UQB, and it's still working great. So, and that was the one that had a circular cylinder of solar cells, and you're getting pretty low. For a while there, it was operating nearly 24 hours a day when it was down near the actual South Pole.
Yeah.
Well, the good news, Tom, is now you've got a free call sign. You can launch another one if you want.
We got Earl's joining us here.
And by the way, we've set a date for the Great Plains Super Launch, which is launching as many ham radio transmitters as we can in June from Huntsville, Alabama. So it's going to be June 15th, 16th, and 17th. The 15th will be spent touring the Space and Rocket Museum. And then on the 16th of June, we'll be at UAH campus, University of Alabama, Huntsville campus, and we'll have talks from our ham radio balloon enthusiasts from around the world. And we'll also be on Zoom. So if you can't make it in person, we'll have a Zoom link. And then Saturday, the 17th of June, we're going to be launching early in the morning from the Severe Weather Institute. We're going to be launching probably 10 regular latex balloons, like you did that one flight where you chased it with the plane. And several pico balloons will be going up with Whisper and APRS. So, and then we go out and chase them all at once. So it's a lot of fun. That's superlaunch.org. For more information.
Yeah, that was a fun chase for that balloon. I don't know if I have the energy
to come out to the conference. So
yeah, I don't know if I have the energy to do that again. I'm not sure I want to attempt it.
Well, why would you want to? I mean, that one was about as perfect as you could go. I mean, anything other, you wouldn't be able to match that kind of performance.
Exactly. So when it was perfect and everything went right,
it was really cool.
Then this is going to be not perfect and everything's not going to go right.
Right. It's like, why tempt fate on this one?
Yeah. So I don't know, man.
You'll have the some of the best balloon chasers out there chasing them all down. So, and you can team up with another group if you want, Tom. Put
Yeah.
the payload together, and I'm sure somebody will launch it.
All right. All right. Well, what else is going on tonight? We're right now in the show after the show. Wait a minute.
After the show.
We're in the after the show. Where's after the show? I've lost it. There we go. There's after the show. Can't even remember the name of this, but we're in the after the show, folks, and we posted the link here for Zoom. Guys, join us. We need your participation or precipitation, whichever.
No, we don't want any of their precipitation. It's already cold and icy enough as it is.
You know, it's amazing how the hams on here are so shy. You know.
Oh, I don't know. We got Earl in here.
Let's
kick it over to Earl.
We got Earl here. Hey, Earl, how you doing, man? Come on in here.
You're muted or something.
Come on in here, Earl.
Check. How's that?
There you go.
There we go.
That's better.
Oh, I'm sorry
I'm only
to
seeing half your face. Can you scoot over to your left just about a foot? There you go.
How's that?
That's better.
Yeah. Sorry I haven't been with y'all lately. I had some family issues. My mom passed away.
Oh, man. Sorry to hear that.
Now taking care of that.
Yeah.
But, hey, I just wanted to touch base. We had a phenomenal field day here in Chattanooga this past weekend. We were a 3.0 station. We were officially a 2.0 station, but we were running a third station for digital on 80 meters and had voice on 20 and 40. And I was sitting on 40, and I'll tell you, it got crazy Saturday afternoon, just absolutely crazy. And then Saturday night, when we started gray lining Europe, I was talking with a guy over in Italy and another one over in Spain off of 90 watts and a in-fed half wave.
Yeah.
So it was cold, but we had a blast.
Yeah, I've been listening the last couple of days, and about early evening, Europe starts coming in.
Mm-hmm. Well, this was late. This was early morning for them. I think it was about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning Eastern time.
Uh-huh.
But we did something different. We started inviting some of the GMRS folks to join us. So the North Georgia GMRS group brought their trailer up, and they had a GMRS contest that they put together. They have a network that runs from Orlando all the way up to just about to Knoxville, I guess. So they had a contest that ran, and when they finished, they have about half of their group are hams. So we shut down our 20-meter station and gave them 20 meters, and they were copying Antarctica. They were calling, but they couldn't get through. So I brought them out and put them on the 40-meter rig, and some of those folks who'd never had 40-meter HF contacts before were talking to folks around the country, just jumping up and down at 2 o'clock in the morning.
40 is a good band, man, and evening time it opens up to Europe easy. Yeah,
it did. It was a lot of fun. That was my first field day.
Yeah,
so it was a lot of fun.
The bands are a lot better than they were a year or two ago. They were pretty bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this year I'm going to be able to make summer field days since the cats aren't going to be showing it anymore. So I'll be able to do the field day now because there's always a show on field day weekend.
Yeah. That'll be good. Tom, I saw your cheeks. I thought maybe you had been outside in the field day weather, the cold field day weather.
You must have tuned in late. I explained what happened.
No, I saw that. I voted for the nuclear solution.
Oh, did the nuclear plant? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well,
I say turn off the lights, and if he glows, then we know which one was true.
Hey, when I do go over there next month, I will be driving around next to Nuclear One over here. I'm going to check it out. When I was going to school over here, I heard rumors about cows with 2 heads and stuff like that, but I never saw one.
I was living in Berkeley, California, and a friend of mine was a nuclear engineering professor there. And there's this big park with this huge tree, just one single tree in the middle of the park. Below it is a nuclear reactor. I don't think many people know that UC Berkeley has a nuclear reactor, a little research reactor, way under their park. There's their commons. And he says, you see that tree out there? That used to be a carrot.
We used to pick on my son-in-law. He worked at the Sequoia nuclear plant here, Hickson. And all of our grandkids came out okay. No extra parts or anything. So.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Well, Bill, how do they cool that thing? Wouldn't you have to have a cooling tower or something?
Where'd Bill go?
He must have stepped away.
He's muted.
But, you'd think you'd have to have some kind of cooling tower or something for a reactor like that. But he'll tell us when he gets back.
Yeah. Well, guys, help me here. I don't know. Help me understand this. During World War II, we dropped a couple bombs on Japan. And I thought this radiation is supposed to stay there, like thousands of years, and, it'd be unusable, but they built back on top of it, and they're living on it, so.
Well, my understanding is they bulldozed off all the topsoil and disposed of it.
Is that right?
That's my understanding.
Makes
Well,
sense.
Tom, I have a friend that passed away a few years ago at the age of 91, and he was not sick a day in his life, healthy as a horse. And he was the one that pushed the button that fired the Trinity explosion, and he also helped build design the ones that went in World War II. And he was also on the collecting high-speed cameras off the sinking ships during the Bikini Atoll.
Good grief.
And I said, "How did they protect you from the radiation?" He said, "They gave us coveralls, which we burnt afterwards." And that man was, he was Don Miller, W9NTP. He was a real life Indiana Jones. He was from Indiana. So he had an amazing experience and exposed to a lot of radiation, and he was fine.
Bill, when you were talking about the UC Berkeley reactor, what'd they do with the cooling on that if there's no cooling towers above ground?
Oh, it's a small little reactor, a little research reactor. It's about the size of a swimming pool, but it's 100 feet underground.
Okay.
Well,
Stadium in Chicago.
I think everybody ought to have a little, really small nuclear reactor at their house. At their house,
Actually, that he mentioned that if we were to have distributed neighborhood reactors, we wouldn't have any of the issues we have today with these gigantic nuclear waste at big plants. And it would be cost effective. They're perfectly safe when they're small. And you can power a whole neighborhood with them in a distributed network. The power grid goes down. You still got power on your local grid. So they had in their little swimming pool under the Berkeley campus, there was a little rubber duck floating in the reactor. No one dared to pick it up.
Well, Matt tells us that the holding pools for the fuel rods here are open, and they walk around them. He's been in containment.
Good grief.
They pull the top off to refuel every 2 years.
Yeah, what's the name of that one?
Sequoia.
Sequoia.
He was chief reactor operator here at Sequoia, and he was plant manager down at Browns Ferry below Huntsville.
Yeah, Doc here says he's close to Watts Bar.
Yeah, that's just up the lake from me. Not far.
That's pretty close to you, isn't it?
Yeah. About 30, 40 miles.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had Turkey Point down in Miami, and then Birmingham. We had, what was that, Browns Ferry?
Yeah. That's where Matt worked. He lived in Huntsville and then commuted to Browns Ferry. He was back down there for 2 years. He just finished his 2-year stint at Browns Ferry and came back to Chattanooga. And Don, 8 miles from Towers at Watts Bar, you're not too far away.
I'm very close to Browns Ferry here.
Yeah, I'm about 2 miles, not even 2 miles north of Sequoia. When I go outside at night, I can hear the transformer yard humming.
We had that F5 tornado come through, and it missed Browns Ferry by a very close mark, but it knocked down 26 of those large transmission towers feeding North Alabama, and you could see the Milky Way in downtown Huntsville for 8 days. It took them that long to put those towers back up.
Wow.
Well, I think nuclear power has a role to play in ham radio. It just really hadn't got there yet. Bill, in our balloon flights, we tried and tested all types of batteries to fly, and we couldn't, none will work up here at that temperature. But I did find a company in Miami that makes a nuclear battery, and they were like $1,000 each. I don't remember the size, but they were they didn't have enough current to
No, it's
to
like
power.
microwatt
Yeah,
kind of thing.
It was very small. So, we're trying to fly a nuclear battery. We just can't find the right one.
Well, you have the biggest nuclear power available to you right now. Let me get that going. There we go.
What is that? The sun?
You're already flying a nuclear powered
Yeah.
tracker, Tom.
Well, yeah, but I want I want
sort
nuclear
of.
power during darkness.
You're doing Mr. Fusion.
Yeah, I want it during darkness though. That's the problem.
Back to the future.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. Anybody else going to join us out there? I posted the link. I'll post it again just to wake you up out there. This is the After the Show, and would like to have you join us if you want to. After the Show. We haven't had this very often. I mean, in the last 3 or 4 weeks, we haven't been able to do it. But we're shooting for, we got another 15 minutes we can be on tonight. Let's get something exciting to talk about. What are we going to talk about?
Orlando, I'm ready to go.
All right.
I am so ready to go. I mean, Jackson, actually this year, Jackson had really good attendance, but I'm just dying for Orlando because, I mean, their flea market just goes on for miles and miles and miles. I mean, it really takes 2 days to see everything they got there.
Yeah, it's spread out quite a bit.
That must be nice to see a big one like that.
Oh, it's the flea market is just absolutely huge. They got, several buildings and then the outdoors field area. And let me tell you, by the time you finished walking and seeing everything, you're ready to sit down and just relax.
Are you going to have a golf cart?
No, I'm walking it. They do have golf carts to take you over to the forum area.
Yeah, or to haul a boat anchor. They'll help you there.
Yeah, they'll help you with a boat anchor.
I heard they have a flatbed golf cart for boat anchors this year.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah.
And they do have the boat anchors. There was some Henry amplifiers there.
Oh man,
I got a picture of last year, I believe.
I'd like to have a Henry amp. I want.
Oh, it was. It was pretty. They had it in the back of a truck. They didn't even bother trying to unload it.
Or maybe a Collins amp. What's the big Collins amp that sits on the floor? The
Oh gosh,
KW2. I'm trying to think here.
KWM2?
No, that sounds like the transceiver. There was a 30L1. They had a 30L1 and a 30S1, I think.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. Which one of them sits on the floor? I want the one that sits on the floor. I think that's the. Well, I don't know. Now I have to look it up.
I don't know. I'm not that far up on the Collins
Yeah,
gear.
I'll have to look that up, man. I've got a good amp. I got 2 good amps here, so I'm not really needing it. But yeah.
No, I am really looking forward to this Ham Fest. It's been, Since Huntsville, since I've been to a big one. Yeah. Yeah. Clifton's got it in the chat room. There's your gift for your birthday, Tom.
What is that?
I'll
A
find
gift
you
for his
one of those
birthday?
Collins 30S1s.
Yeah, I want the they had 30S1. Let me. I got it right here. Look. Here it is. There it is, right there.
All right. I will get you one, but you're going to have to pay shipping.
I tell you what, if it's a good one, it works. I'll pay shipping if it works good. Okay. But man, hey, the amps, they're expensive. This alpha amp I got here got those three CX800s, I think. Those tubes, I guess got two of them. Those tubes sell for about $800 a piece, man.
Yeah.
I mean, you can find some a little cheaper. You can find medical pullouts, but that thing's got $1,600 worth of tubes in it.
Well, I was reading an article the other day that people are bringing back the vacuum tubes because of the audio quality as compared to transistors.
Yeah.
That guys actually is making tubes in the United States now.
Yeah, that was a big thing with everything that's been going on in China and Russia. They have been the big sources for vacuum tubes for quite a while. The Sovtech tubes for guitar amps and things like that were the hot things for years. But they stopped making them, or they're not exporting them. We're not importing them.
Yeah, when this guy started his own company and is making the tubes himself.
Oh, wow.
And the audiophiles like them as well.
Yes.
Even the little 12AX7s and AU7s for preamps are real popular, and 6L6s for power amps for audio.
I have a box full of all those tubes.
I think we all have a 12AX7, 12AU7 running around somewhere.
Probably so. Well, I worked at Radio
I've got
Shack.
some tubes. I got some tubes from the 1920s and 30s that were in my uncle's collection, still in the box.
Wow.
Sold a good many of them to Fair Radio sales 40 years ago, and I wish I hadn't done that.
I worked at Radio Shack when I was in college, so when we discontinued things, my dumpster was usually padded. So I have a box of tubes from those days, those lifetime warranty gold pin tubes.
Oh, wow.
In the boxes, of course. Weird things, weird numbers. But maybe somebody on eBay wants them.
Yeah. It's amazing, the technology kind of goes full circle because now they're back to vinyl records too.
Oh, yeah. I bought one 6 months ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I used to work for an Army research center, and our procurement was so messed up, you could not purchase a resistor or a transistor or capacitor. It would you had to fill out 10 pieces of paper, get it signed by 10 people, and it would take 9 months for it to come into the building. So what you tended to see is when a project would end, they'd dump everything out in the dumpsters in the back. So the word would go out when that happened, and you'd see just this bevy of engineers digging through the trash like vultures.
What do you mean used to?
Oh, God. I mean,
And we had like a little underground parts distribution network within the building. One day I had these 28-volt power supplies that the lab manager said, "We aren't using those anymore. You should get rid of those." And I says, No, I think we might have a need for this in the near future. Well, I went on vacation. I came back. They had put them out in the box in the high bay and put an email saying parts for free, and they were gone in 3 minutes.
wow.
So guess what? We needed that power supply about 2 weeks later, and they were all gone. So I walked around to my friends in the underground parts network and finally found one. My friend said he had one. And I walked into his office, which was like a Radio Shack's parts store. And he was very organized, and he handed me one of my original power supplies he had grabbed. He says, "This will cost you."
Good heavens.
When I first moved to Atlanta, I worked for Schweber Electronics, one of the electronics OEM distributors, and we were in Technology Park, which back then was the hot spot in Metro Atlanta. That's where Hayes Modems was, and DCA, and all these other high tech companies. And I guess it was DCA had a facility right next to us, and they were moving out of the building, and they had two of those 30 cubic yard skips in the back, and we were back there at lunch dumpster diving every day. And that's where I got my 32K of core memory out of a PDP-8.
Oh, my word.
I was stupid. I didn't get the front panel off of the thing.
Oh, by the way, if you want some nostalgia, there is a company that is selling a PDP-8 kit,
Clone.
and it runs on a Raspberry Pi or an Arduino Duo. I can't remember which, and I actually have it here, but it actually looks just like the original PDP-8, runs all that code and everything.
That's the cool thing, is it actually runs the code and doesn't just blink the lights.
Right. No, it is the full-blown thing, and it's, completely emulates it. But that was actually the first computer that I learned how to program on, was the 8M.
Well, we had a display at a space conference in Austria and Vienna in 1982. And our task was to take a weather satellite image from the Meteosat European weather satellite and display it with a video projector on a 10-foot screen over the conference hall. And back in 1982, now you could do that with your laptop and a little video accessory that you'd have maybe, $1,000 into it, if that. Back then, it cost like $250,000, and we had the local deck office bring out a PDP-8 and set it all up, and we had a $70,000 video projector and a $30,000 satellite receiver, and it was quite a project to make it all work together. We had a couple of deck guys out there programming it, so it filled up the booth.
Now you can do it with a Pi.
You can do that with a Raspberry Pi.
When I first graduated from college, I went to work for a manufacturer's rep covering North Carolina. And remember when
oh my God,
when IBM first came out with the PCAT with the 20 meg hard drive? This is the 5 meg little brother.
Yes.
For the reseller. And we, needless to say, this is my demo with a piece of plexiglass on the top. Needless to say, we could never get any drives because they shipped anything and everything that pretended to work to IBM. Those 20 meg hard drives. But I've kept this just as a doorstop, just because I had it and it was our demo back then.
I worked for. Go ahead.
We had a little exerciser board and we could plug in and it would exercise the head and run and spin, and supposedly you could write data to it, but at 5 megabytes or 6 megabytes unformatted, 5 megabytes formatted. Why?
Yeah. What are you going to put on it? Yeah. Actually, the first disk drive that I ever worked on, I was with Control Data, and it had a whopping 2.5 meg platter, and the cartridge, and the heads were moved by hydraulic fluid.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I mean, they were the size of a washing machine, and they had a whopping 2.5 meg.
Well, I was a Data General reseller when I worked for Schweber, and we sold those 277 megabyte pack removable washing machines.
Yes, those were our storage module drive, the SMD.
Yeah, SMDs, and you dare not reach in there to pull out a pack if you're wearing a watch.
No.
Hey, Glenn.
No. Yes.
When I was speaking of Control Data Corporation, when Apple went public, I was handed the very first Apple IIe by Steve Jobs.
Oh.
Building, because we were their biggest distributor at that point, and I had to keep it under lock and key and not tell anybody what it did. the difference between that and a regular Apple II was the Apple IIe had twice the memory, twice the colors, and it was upper, upper and lowercase, and 80 characters wide. It was a big deal. So,
oh yeah.
anyways, Steve said, we're going through the moon and we're going to public, buy stock. I was a starving student. So I called my dad and it says, they're going public tomorrow, buy as much shares as you can. And it was around $6 a share.
Oh.
So he went in to buy 1,000 shares of Apple at $6 a share. And his stockbroker said, Apple? That's a fruit company. Not going to go anywhere. And besides, who's going to want a computer in their house? At their desk. Well, what would, nobody's going to want that. So he told my dad to invest his money into Control Data Corporation instead.
Oops.
Which he did. He listened to his stockbroker.
Yep.
He lost just about all of it within 5 years.
Yep.
As Control Data pretty much tanked. And I reminded him every year of what the current value of his Apple stock would currently be. I think right now it's worth $100 million.
Yeah, I told my dad to do the same thing with Microsoft when it IPO'd at like $18 a share. Again, I didn't have that money, but my dad did. And he went for International Rectifier instead. And Microsoft since then has split like 256 to 1 in total during that time frame. And they're now like at what, 80 to 100 a share a couple of years ago, something like that. So yeah, he would have been sitting on a cool $1 million plus.
All right, guys, let me make a quick one here. Our time is up. We're about to go off our shortwave station. Thanks for everybody for watching tonight, listening on shortwave. We'll see you next week. You can join us live on w5kub.com next week at 8 p.m. on Tuesday, Central, 8 p.m. Central Tuesday. A show about ham radio, about shortwave listening, and we'd love to have you. 73. Good night to everybody out there.
73.
Okay. Well, let's see. All right. Whew. That's just about the end there. We're gonna go. I'll go ahead and we will close the show down, the video down, and you guys want to talk another minute on Zoom, you can. And I need to go get me something to eat. Getting hungry.
Get some popcorn.
Yeah, I'm thinking popcorn or peanut butter sandwich.